Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Once upon a time, there were three bears who lived in a house of their own deep in a forest. One of them was a little bear, one a medium-sized bear, and one a big bear. They each had a bowl for their porridge, a small bowl, a medium-sized bowl, and a great bowl. Also, they had each a chair to sit in, a small chair, a medium-sized chair, and a big chair. And they also had each a bed to sleep in, a small bed, a medium-sized bed, and a big bed. One day, after they carefully and neatly had made their beds and cooked porridge for breakfast, they took a walk in the woods while the porridge cooled in their bowls, so they wouldn't burn their mouths. They were polite, well-behaved bears. While they were away, a girl called Goldilocks, she had long, wavy blonde hair, passed by the house and peeped in the keyhole, for she was not at all a polite, well-behaved little girl. Seeing nobody home, she lifted the door's latch. The door was not locked because the three bears did nobody any harm and never suspected anybody would harm them. Goldilocks was pleased when she saw the porridge on the table. If she had been a good little girl, she would have waited for the three bears to come home, and perhaps they would have shared their breakfast. Unfortunately, Goldilocks was insolent and rude, so she set about helping herself. First, she tasted the porridge of the big bear, and that was too hot. Medium-sized bear's porridge was too cold, but little bear's porridge was just right. She liked it so much that she ate it all up. After Goldilocks finished breakfast, she sat down in the chair of the big bear, but it was too hard for her. Medium-sized bear's chair was too soft, but little bear's chair was just right. She sat in little bear's small chair so long that the bottom of the chair came out, and she fell to the ground, which made her very cross. Determined to rest, Goldilocks went upstairs into the bedchamber. First, she tried to lay on the big bed, but it was too high. Then, she tried to lay on the medium-sized bed, but it was too low. Finally, she tried the little bear's bed, and it was just right. She covered herself up comfortably and fell asleep. By this time, the three bears thought their porridge would be cool enough for them to eat, so they came home for breakfast. Careless Goldilocks had left the spoon of the big bear standing in his porridge.
"Somebody has been at my porridge,"
said the big bear. Then the medium bear also saw her spoon stuck in the middle of her porridge. "Somebody has been at my porridge," said the medium-sized bear. When Little Bear looked at his bowl, there was his spoon, but the porridge was all gone.
"Somebody has been at my porridge and has eaten it all up."
The three bears, knowing that someone had entered their house, began to look for the intruder. They checked their chairs.
"Somebody has been sitting in my chair,"
said both the big bear and the medium-sized bear.
"Somebody has been sitting in my chair and has broken the bottom of it,"
said the little bear. Then the three bears went upstairs into their bedchamber, where Goldilocks had left the carefully made beds a mess.
"Somebody has been lying in my bed,"
said the big bear.
"Somebody has been lying in my bed,"
said the medium-sized bear. When Little Bear looked at his bed, there was Goldilocks' yellow head on the pillow.
"Somebody has been lying in my bed, and she's still here."
In Goldilocks' sleep, the great, gruff voice of the big bear sounded like no more than the roaring wind. Medium-sized bear's voice sounded like a little bird chirping. But Little Bear's voice was so sharp and shrill that she woke up immediately. When Goldilocks saw the three bears on one side of the bed, she tumbled herself off the other side of the bed, ran to the window, and jumped. No one can say whether she ran deep into the forest and was lost, or found her way home and got whipped for being a bad girl. The three bears never heard about her again, and they lived happily ever after.